Good afternoon. Thank you for the wonderful welcome in the beautiful city of Decatur. We've had a great morning and a great visit with the folks here. We're going to talk about industrial development and job growth. Our job in the industrial development group of OmniTRAX is to create economic stimulus and jobs in this community and the other communities that we're in. As Kevin touched upon earlier, we've had great success in northern Colorado with our project Great Western Industrial Park. We've matched that with enormous success at the Port of Brownsville with the several thousand acres of master plan park we have there. We've added to that just recently in Savannah, Georgia, with our first major tenant, $1 billion investment in 400 acres, most importantly bringing 1,100 new high-paying jobs to Savannah. And our plan is to do the same thing here. So this graphic tells probably one of the most important stories about the many benefits of doing business in this area and in Decatur. And that's the major amount of rail infrastructure that exists here, really centralizing with the ADM plant and the ADM intermodal ramp, which is an amazing logistics advantage that we will be using as we talk to new tenants about coming into this market. It shows the ADM track, Canadian National, Norfolk, CSX, the new Decatur Junction, and then the trackage rights over our partners at CN. This gives a slight graphic of ADM, the Decatur ramp, and its proximity. The industrial market in the broader Chicagoland area is one of the top industrial markets in the country. Average vacancy rates are down to 3.5%, and any time you break 5%, that is a definite signal that you're in a vibrant economy and that it's time to be adding more industrial product, and that's definitely the plan that we have in this market. Here's the advantages for your project in your community. And this is what any major user will look at when they're considering this market against other markets that they could locate in. Railroad with dual service. Well, Decatur Junction is triple served. Centralized location, proximity to markets and people. Definitely with the broader Chicago market and the number of people that you touch. EDC city involvement. We've had great meetings with the county, great opportunities to interact with your mayor and your city manager. That is a definite plus. We'll have phenomenal cooperation, and one of the main things that any major user will consider when looking at this market will be the cooperation from local governments and from the county, and we've gotten great commitments from both that they'll be very supportive and expedite the process to create new jobs in this community. The intermodal ramp. Proximity to the ADM intermodal opportunity, definitely. Solidified workforce, which has been touched upon by Nicole. Your great workforce in this community is a definite with the over 520,000 people labor that you can touch from the broader marketplace. New utility capacity that was touched upon by Cheryl earlier today. That is an absolute critical function that we have both power and water running all over the main line and along our railroad. Available land. There is definitely available land, but unfortunately, we're still, our main challenge so far is working with the community and trying to tie up land that we can use to market in the area. We're working very diligently with the EDC, with the Midwest Inland Port, and with our local teams, but we are here to make a major commitment in the community, but we definitely need land so that we can be talking to our over 350 customers and the major users that we interact with our current 3 industrial parks that we have underway. We have national marketing teams on every one of our major parks, and we are using those teams to look at new opportunities for this community as well. This gives you a small example of how anyone would look at industrial development. The average industrial market rent in the broader Chicago market is 34 cents per square foot per month, or roughly $408,000 per year with the example of being a 100,000 square foot build-to-suit building. Your soft construction costs about $10 a foot or $1 million. Your land infrastructure costs, assuming about 5 acres of land for this user, about $40,000. Your residual land value is $65,000, or that translates into roughly $13,000 an acre. And I'm backing up one. Your hard construction cost is about $4 million. An important advantage that we have as both an industrial owner and as a real estate organization and owning and operating railroads is that we create rental revenue and we also create rail revenue. We look at the rail revenue as an enduring part of our income stream, so we can build buildings for less money and more effective, aggressive rental rates. But in any major market, you'd be roughly at an 8%. We're targeting an 8% return on cost. In almost any other major market, when you're starting a new park, you'd be at a 10% return on cost, which would substantially drive up your rental rate. So we're prepared to strike very, very aggressive rental rate deals for major rail customers, and also major rail customers always result in major job creation. So we're not just talking about big box warehouse distribution buildings that have very few people in it and tie up a lot of land. We're talking about major industrial users that will utilize the railroad infrastructure and utilize the ADM ramp, create new high-paying jobs. As Kevin touched upon earlier, the average new job that we brought to northern Colorado was paying $75,000 a year. As the example we touched upon just a few minutes ago, our first major customer to Savannah, Georgia, will make a $1 billion investment and bring in 1,100 new jobs. Thank you very much for your time today, and we look forward to working with you.